This week on Talk of the Town, we talk to Jeff Seedall, Tremonton's new city planner. Get to know him and see what's changing in Tremonton. As always, we have plenty of sports highlights and interviews.
I grew up in Idaho Falls on a farm, ended up at Utah State where I got a bachelor's degree in civil and environmental engineering. Met my wife. We moved up to Idaho Falls to take my first job. After a year there, I got a new job at a place called Harper Levitt Engineering, which is where I started with civil engineering and land development. My wife and I moved down to Lehigh and got a job with Ensign Engineering, who is very big in land development and land planning. I worked on quite a few subdivisions as well as then commercial development around Salt Lake and Utah County. When we found out we were having our second, though, my wife and I decided it was time to start relocating to somewhere a little bit quieter than Lehigh. We ended up looking in Logan, where I found a job position, and that kind of locked us into finding something around Logan. But after looking through the south part of Cache Valley and realizing nothing was very affordable, we looked to Tremonton, my wife will still chuckle a little bit that she's moved back to the town she grew up in. So I've been working in land development and civil engineering design for 7 years now. Most people don't know what civil engineering is, but it ends up being land use planning, subdivision development, commercial. So we deal with designing the infrastructure and the site utilization for any development coming in, whether it's commercial or residential. So we work a lot with understanding the city's code, working with the public works on capacities and designs and stuff. And so when I was with a company called CRS, they asked me to set a goal and I wanted to get more comfortable with land use. My office manager suggested that I look at just going to planning commission and city council meetings. That segued rather quickly when Brett Rohde pulled me aside after the planning commission meeting I went to and said, hey, one of the members would like to step down. Would you be willing to take his replacement? And I said, sure, in the future, and the future was in 2 weeks. Through planning commission, though, that's how I ended up hearing about this job as city planner. I called Mark, the city manager, and asked if we could sit down and just kind of have an impromptu conversation about it, which ended up with a Friday afternoon meeting together. I ended up putting an application in, interviewed, and got it. So this is the closest I've had a job to my family since my wife and I have been married. And so to have the proximity to her and the kids has been a lot of fun. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old at home. So it's fun to go home during lunch and see them and spend a little bit of time with them, at the peak of their energy and less, the dinner, bedtime struggles. So from a professional standpoint, I was a little overwhelmed because it's one thing to kind of design and work and understand the city code enough to design to it. It's another one to now be responsible for almost having a binder worth of information, memorized. It's been a bit of a learning curve the past few weeks with the announcement that Mark, our city manager, also has found a job in Ivins. And he's leaving. It's become a little bit more of a daunting task because the little bit of training and onboarding I got is now going to have to be very well put on. And there's great staff here in the city to help with it, but from how developments are going and what's going on from a land use side, I feel like it's on my shoulders a little bit to help bring the new city manager up to speed. Mark will be starting in Ivins at the 1st of June. So coincidentally, we have him through the end of May. Sean left earlier this year. Now Mark's leaving. The city understands how valuable having this position filled, but also what it means to have the right person filling it. I've been in here for about a month. what I'm working on mainly is we have a landscape architect who has an urban planning background named Sam Taylor, and I'm working with him and our city engineer, Chris Breinholt, to review any kind of water conservation plans, any of the city master planning. Tremonton's at an interesting point right now where a lot of area the city wants to grow into is southwest of I-15, so you mean it kind of cuts through the town at an angle. And so we're working on trying to understand how that portion of the city is going to function, because primarily it's downhill and kind of flows away from the current city infrastructure. If anyone ever has a question about land use or what's going on with the city, I'm happy to make time and sit down with them. The area of Idaho Falls I grew up around went through a lot of growing pains that probably, I don't know if it could have been avoided less or if the pains would have been less painful, with a little bit of master planning. But my hope is with the growth that Tremonton is seeing right now, we can make our growing pains hopefully pain-free, but probably not. So no, that's it. I've enjoyed Tremonton, and I do look forward to seeing whatever comes down the pipeline. So.
Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who love our community. Show your love by supporting them today. Bear River High School's Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Pizza Plus. Congrats to these athletes for their efforts on and off the field.
Pitch in there from Harrell, popped up, and Douglas underneath it. And we'll get out number 2. Swing and a miss, and there's your Frank Maskadoo strike. Sends this one here to the middle and gets through into grass. The all-under one rookie, the dry clean. Is this one in there for a strike, and a Frank Maskadoo strikeout. This one popped up, and Richards out of nowhere. And they get the double. Gardner with the pitch. This one sent down the baseline, a little trouble with it, and that's going to put a runner on here for Bear River. Start with talking with or Dusty there at Lincoln Financial, and the ball gets passed again. Runner back over to third. This one popped up in the field. Fly. There with the pitch. Popped up, not going to leave the infield. Town calling for it. Strand one. With the delivery and a Frank Maskadoo strikeout. Round number 1. Also with another delivery, swing and a miss, and back to back. And a Frank Maskadoo puts this one right where it needed to be. Popped up left field. Town. Trots out. Wilson. Another delivery smack downtown. Get the out at 3. Frank Maskadoo strikeout. Swing and a miss. Frank Maskadoo strike. And Canfield. Flying off speed, slap back down. Douglas out of the dirt. Over to Richards for out number. Off speed, poked down, and Lish. Off speed, scooped up by Canfield, and Richards. Payoff. And a swing and a miss. For a Frank Maskadoo. And swings it into a gap. Go! And gets through the gap. Score another run. Canfield will cross. Look very far. Shot back into the gap.
Kind of a rough start for you guys. You had an opportunity in that second inning, but they were able to hold you with bases loaded. things turned around in the 7th inning, but just a little too late. Tell me about today's game.
Yeah, we started off, and when you have miscues in the first inning, it's really, really hard to recover. But we had a few, and even in the 3rd inning when they put up a 4 spot, we still had some mental errors. And that's one thing that it's really hard as a coach because they don't make the physical error, but the mental error. But we'll just keep grinding through. That's a really good team. But luckily, we hope to face them again throughout the year.
And with Ridgeline, it just seems there is that mental there. Do you think it's more just the mental and the fear of playing before they can get their feet under them? Or what do you think were the factors today that caused some of those errors?
I think it's just a super competitive game. And sometimes when you are in a competitive situation, you start to press. And I felt a couple of our kids pressing at some times. But at the same time, at the end of the inning, or at the end of the game in the bottom of the 7th, we showed some fight, which is really good. We just got to channel that competitive fire a little bit sooner.
So what was some of the conversation you guys had right here and able to turn it around and be ready for what you've got next?
Yeah, so we're busy. And quite honestly, we only had 1 practice to prepare for this game. But at the end of the day, it's spring in Utah. You have to make up rain games and things like that. But I'm actually excited that we play tomorrow and then we turn around and play on Friday and just keep getting reps, keep getting swings, because that's a bunch that I'd be scared of them once they figure it out. It's going to be scary, and I'm excited for it.
And so, like you said, you hope to see them again. The division's a little bit bigger this time. Might not just be Ridgeline Bear River going to be there in the end. So the hope to see them again, if you guys can play your game, what do you think that's going to kind of look like for us?
It's going to be a ball game. There's a lot of emotion when it comes to Bear River Ridgeline series, and that's a good thing, right? That's some competitive fire, but just some things that we've got to attack early. Their pitcher wants to get ahead in the counts, and we've just got to be ready for it and attack on one of those first 2 pitches.
And obviously some good things. Molly Canfold, a freshman, and she comes in and kind of lit that spark to get you guys so that there wasn't no runs. You're able to get that momentum. Tell me a little bit about what she did and the players after her.
You know, Molly's just one of those kids that is just constant. Even at practice, she stays constant. In games, she's that way. And there were some things that went kind of wrong in the game defensively that started getting in her head a little bit, and she just looked at us and said, I got it. We're all good. And then she went in and just did her at bat. And really, our 2 freshmen, Pacey and Molly, have stepped up in big ways, and not just as ball players, but they're finding themselves in leadership ways, which is really awesome to see.
Last year, we won these 2 games. But in the end, we were unable to win the important ones at state. And so the thing about Bear River is at the end of the year, they're always peaking. And so we know that as part of what we've got to have. This game right here, we just talked with our kids. If we're not up 9-0 that last inning and it goes 5-3, the momentum is there enough that I actually think Bear River ends up winning the game. And I'm going to tell you, Jordan does a good job. She's got those kids. They're believing in the program. And I can see that there's some things that are turning there.
Tell us kind of what you would like to see happen in playoffs and come state time.
Well, I don't want to see Bear River till the last series of the year, and I think there's a great chance that'll happen. There's some things we've got to clean up on our side. Sometimes when you're 16-0, you think you're probably a little better than you are, and that's a thing we've got to battle through. I think Bear River is going to start to peak and start to come into things, and so I hope we see each other at the end of the year. I hope that's the way things work. I know there's some great teams in the South. We got to be a little cognizant of the ones in the middle of the state too. But boy, I hope that it comes down here. You look down here, you walk past every banner, there's every state championship known to man right here. And so we have great respect and understanding and hope that it ends up that way too.
Watching, and we will start off with a hit. Got it over here to Potter, and Garrett Marble will get a quick out. Nope. Chopper back over to Potter. Put it off the dirt again. Some of a pitch in there, and a first swing base can do strikeout, but that retires the side. Off speed, swung on and hit. More on that a little bit later. Potter goes. Throw will get past, and Potter will take off again. Sends this one deep, center right. And will drop in between the. Goodwin's going to keep this one down. Scooped up over the shortstop with the throw. Not going to make it. Will be swung on back over to him. Little jog. Goes for the wrist. And that's why he DHs. Straight out to center, but right at Telemarble. Someone swung on, poked, and right to Telemarble. Count. Down the baseline, gonna stay fair. It's only one out, one on now. Center of the gap. Tires gonna round third. Tight. Everybody's unable to stop at the barrier line. Talon sends this one down the line. Fair. Grinnell with a 2-2. Swung on out to right field. Skyler pops this one up. Not going to leave the infield, but super high. Bev underneath it for out number 1. Throw back to first. And got him. This one chopped over to Goodliff. Routine out at first again. Prepare. This one fouled out. Right field. Oh, gonna stay fair. First, here in an 8-0 ball game. Goodliff sends it over to Marble. Round up. Summers with another delivery. This one. Smack back down. Potter. The throw in. Chopper backhanded here by Colton. We'll get out number 3, the box. And Potter gets a hold of this one. Sends it over to Potter and takes off to second. And standing on center with the 1-0. Potter gonna go third. The throw gonna miss, and that'll bring Potter in. Down to Merrill with the pitch. Sent out center field. And this one's gonna get over. Yes. That's now, but Potter able to get the out number 2. Bevan's throw in time for the double play. Wilson with a good poke, but Telemarble puts this one away.
Another big win against Skyview. Tonight you do it in 5. Just tell me, what were the things you're happy to see today?
I was really excited to see how Colton Summers came out and threw the baseball today for us. Threw strikes, mixed pitches really well, and our defense was really good behind it, and I really liked our approach offensively.
And speaking on your defense, it seemed like you guys are really busy with your short, your second, and your first. Kind of tell me about those players and what they did today.
Holdy does a great job. He kind of bounces back and forth in the infield a little bit for us. Did a tremendous job there, and Bevins did a great job. He plays on Wednesdays and Fridays, and so he's always ready to go there. And Garrick did a really good job of just catching baseballs that was thrown at him. You know, I just thought our whole defense overall played really well today.
And then you guys had some good running, great stealing. Tell me a little bit about that. This guy right here stole home, and you had some other ones do that too, but just tell me how it felt to get the runs in that you had today.
You know, we're always talking about being aggressive, running the bases. You got to play a little fearless in the game and can't be afraid to make mistakes, and the guys have really bought into that, and today they did a really good job.
And so with this season getting close to coming to an end, do you guys feel comfortable with where you are at, or what's some of the things you guys need to do to be ready?
You know, we still got to continue to get better. We got to continue to get better on defense, eliminating runs and playing the next pitch, and then offensively just continuing to get the hits when we need to and continue to have quality at bats. We still got to grow up as a team a little bit more. We're doing really good, and I think there's some room to grow for us, and we're heading in the right direction.
Oftentimes, you know, the catch you're involved in every single play, but kind of the silent leader. Tell us a little bit about the role you play on the team.
Yeah, it's a dogfight. My pitchers do a great job, not making me work too hard.
And you had some good hitting this game. In the last game we covered too, you had a home run in that one, and then you had an RBI single today to help get some more runs in. Just tell me about that.
We work really hard in practice going the other way with it, and so when they pitch inside, you just take it to your pull side. And I know I've seen the ball really well, but yeah.
And so you guys are headed in a good direction this season. Tell me what you're looking forward to as you guys head in that second stage as you get looking towards playoffs.
Yeah, we got a great team. We love having fun with each other, and we just work really hard, and we're just a team. We work good together.
Today you're going to get the player of the game status for your efforts. You went 3 for 3. You had 2 triples and then a 2 RBI double. Just what does it feel to have that kind of success today?
It feels really good. I mean, worked hard for it, listened to my coaches, did what they told me, and it ended up paying off. So.
And then defensively, some great catches out there, especially the one to finish it off and end the game in 5. Tell me about that.
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, first year playing outfield, it's a little different than playing the infield, but it is what it is, you know.
And then I don't always get to hear the walk-up songs, but today I noticed yours. Is that always your song, the Hideaway?
No, I that was a pre-game change. We just kind of feeling it, so I changed it.
And so what was the vibe today? Why did it get changed to that today?
I don't know. I feel like we just needed something different, just loosen up a little bit, have a little bit more fun. So I don't know, just I was feeling it, yeah.
Okay, and then same thing kind of headed into playoffs. What are you guys expecting there? What are you looking forward to?
I think right now we're kind of working on the basics and we're starting to figure things out now. So I think going into state, we should have them figured out really good by then. So I'm pretty excited.
Okay, we're able to
Ooh,
make a shot on goal from distance.
What a goal!
Good pass, maybe a little bit long.
Great save.
Foot race to the goal, and
Good
Nathan
save,
James
Nate.
One-on-one here with Norton and a shot.
Good hands, Nate.
This time no call. Okay, still with it.
Great save, Nate. So a really great start to this one. You guys got the lead really early on and maintained that for the whole first half and a little bit. Tell me kind of what was that energy and the vibe going into the game?
You know, our plan was to take at it, to control the pace and to set that tone of, hey, we're playing here at home, and I think my boys did an excellent job. I think this game has been it showed where we're progressing to. You know, that we're getting the touches we need. We're passing now. We just need to find how we can get the ball in the back of the net, and I think it's gonna come. But
And I mean, by no means did your boys not continue great efforts. So you guys had great possession, great setups. They just didn't find the back of the net. You had some really great defense too, because it could have been more scores on from Skyview. Tell us a little bit about your defense.
I'm really proud of the three guys back there. We kind of changed up a little bit, took Kyber from out and put him in the mid, and then our captain Cam stepped back. But you know, we're playing the sound defense that we need to. You know, staying compact in the back, and we just need to clean up a little bit stuff in the back, you know, to not prevent them goals to go in. So.
And what's the conversation after the game, and how do you guys prepare for Mountain Crest next Tuesday?
So our conversation is, you know, this is one of our best games we've had, you know, possession-wise. We just need to finish, and the good thing with this group of boys is they haven't given up. You know, we could be at a point where we could just give up and let shoot fast, but you know, every one of these boys have been in there the 100% the whole game, and that's how we're prepared to go to Mountain Crest, and I think we can get a good another home game and be able to perform. So
Check out next week's Talk of the Town to learn all about this year's Farmers Market Series.